Okay, let me welcome on stage Ms. Jayashree Sundareshan, Vice President Fresh Works, Ms. Vishakha Hari, Carnatic vocalist and Harikatha exponent, Ms. Charvi Anil Kumar. Charvi, may I have you on the stage, please, and Ms. Chitra Shah, Founder Director, Satya Special School. Yes, sir. Come, Shah, come. Very good. Ma'am, please come over.
Chill.
Ms. Chitra Shah? Yeah, please come. Yeah. Oh, yes. They're all here. Let's give them a big round of applause as they settle down.
Check.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have the AV of the panelists, please. Ladies and gentlemen, please settle down.
Ms. Jayashree Sundareshan is Vice President at Freshworks and a strategic technology and people leader with over 2 decades of experience in building high-performing global teams. Ms. Jayashree has led large multidisciplinary teams across India and the US, delivering innovative software solutions and driving organizational transformation. Passionate about mentoring and empowering people, Ms. Jayashree champions collaboration, diversity and continuous learning. Ms. Vishakha Hari is a renowned Carnatic vocalist and leading exponent of Harikatha, the traditional art form that blends storytelling, music and spiritual discourse. Trained under Sri Krishna Premi Swamigan and Carnatic maestro Lalgudi Ji, Jayaraman, Ms. Vishakha presents stories from Hindu scriptures with music and modern insights. A chartered accountant and a graded artist of All India Radio, Ms. Vishakha is also a distinguished professor at Sastra University and founder of the Vijayashree School of Harikatha. Ms. Charvi Anil Kumar is a rising chess prodigy and under-11 champion who has crossed the 2,305 ELO mark to earn the prestigious title of 5 Master at just 11 years of age. Ms. Charvi is the winner of the 2022 Under-8 Girls World Championship and a gold medalist at the 2022 Asian Youth Championship. Ms. Charvi's remarkable achievements highlight her discipline, focus and the growing global prominence of Indian chess. Ms. Chitra Shah is founder and director of Satya Special School and vice president of the Special Olympics Bharat Board, with over 2 decades of experience championing inclusion for children with special needs and persons with disabilities. Ms. Chitra founded Satya Special School in 2003 and has since expanded its reach to impact over 1,400 children through education, therapy and advocacy initiatives. A recognized social change leader, Ms. Chitra actively contributes to several government and corporate committees promoting disability rights and social inclusion.
Well, let's give it up to them. To drive this session, may I now invite Ms. Jayashree Sundareshan, please.
All right, a super happy morning to everybody. I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by these stellar women on a topic that is very, very close to my heart. In a bit, I will share why. When we hear the word winning, most of us think about trophies, medals, awards, accolades, and applause. But if you talk to a sportsperson or a musician or a social reformer, they will tell you it's rarely about only the final moment. It's thousands of moments unseen that truly leads up to it. The early morning practice when nobody is watching you. The tremble in the voice that you overcome when you're trying to sing on stage. the quiet patience that is needed when you're trying to deal with change that is painfully slow. Personally, for me, I think about this a lot. Actually, there's a term for it. It's called transferable skills. In this day and age, it matters all the more. Professionally, I lead engineering teams. But on the personal side, I'm deeply connected to playing sports very actively. I sing and dance every chance I get. And I am very passionate about impacting people around me in a positive way. These give me more joy than anything else. And when I look at transferable skills, I look at what part of my skill that I know I'm good at in one aspect that I can apply to something else. And over the years, I've realized something fascinating. What helps you win on a badminton court is the same mindset that helps you deliver a project successfully, overcoming hurdles. The discipline and practice that is needed to perform on stage to entertain people is the same discipline and practice that's going to help you deliver a killer presentation. The resilience that is needed to pursue a social cause is probably similar to the resilience that is needed for you to create organizational impact. Today we are joined by three extraordinary women coming from totally three different arenas of excellence. A woman whose voice and stories moves audiences across Chennai auditoriums to the House of Commons in London, Vishakha Hari. A 11-year-old chess prodigy who sits across the table, across a chessboard from a grandmaster and does not blink an eye, Charvi Anil Kumar. And a woman who looks at children that the world keeps forgetting and says, "Not on my watch," Chitra Shah. From these three women, we're going to try and learn what does a winning mindset look like. How can we transpose the skills from a sports arena to a performing stage to leadership? And I promise you, when we are done today, you will walk away leaving with one or two things that's going to help you show up very differently tomorrow. That's the promise. All right. So I'm going to invite you, Vishakha ji, to set the stage for us. From dealing with numbers as a chartered accountant to Harikatha stories, your journey is one of discipline to devotion. So if you can please entertain us, maybe even adding some music or stories, what does a winning mindset truly look like? And what is the inner world of a Harikatha exponent that even the audience we cannot see from the outside?
Okay. Thank you very much for the beautiful introductory remarks, Jayashree ji. And at the outset, very, very happy to see very young, vibrant audience here. So, looking forward to actually a very interactive session rather than we talking and then you listening. So that's how my professor here, T.G. Suresh, has always been teaching us. He will involve the audience more, the students more than he talking. So thanks to him, he has been inviting me since the last couple of years. He wanted his student, because of him I got the All India first in taxation. So thanking him, I start this, try to start answering your question, Jayashree ji, about the winning mindset. So, let me ask that question to all of you. I think winning or success or victory is different for different people. For you, for some people, it can be a name or a fame. For some people, it can be earning wealth, having a huge bungalow with swimming pools. For some people, success might be just living peaceful life, quiet life. For some people, success might be having a good family and a good work-life balance. So success actually means different for different people. Doesn't that sound more sensible to you? So it's not, success doesn't always mean celebrity, celebrity, celebrity. No. People are always actually eluded by the term success or winning. They think being on the spotlight or in the newspapers or your face coming every day on the social media. No, that need not be success truly. Actually, according to our ancient Indian wisdom, success is true happiness. Success is that fulfilling moment when you say, I feel blessed today. I feel so blessed. Today I feel so fulfilled. When do you get that kind of wow? Yes, I feel so fulfilled. If you need not keep standing, probably you can take the stage also. I can see that a lot of people are standing there and here. If there is place, you can sit here also. Or you can occupy the chairs. So, when do we say that I'm really feeling blessed? So I'll just go back to my professor. He's sitting in the first row and his student is sitting here. Do you think this is a winning mindset or that is a winning mindset? Both. Okay. For him, that is a winning mindset. According to him, his student is sitting here and answering and in the spotlight, which means some people like to see other people, their students or the people whom they have stood for being celebrated, and that is more a winning moment for them. So, here Chitra Shah ji is there. What is her winning moment? When an autistic child can even say Amma or Appa, that is a winning moment for each mother and father. That is a winning moment for each mother when even a 10-year-old or a 20-year-old cannot talk and suddenly, the mics are okay? Okay, so suddenly, until the 15th year or the 20th year, the child is not able to even say Amma or Appa. Suddenly the 20th year, child says Amma. That is the winning moment for her and that Amma. So winning is not about laurels, trophies, grades, ranks, marks, toppers, success. All that is so irrelevant. And that is what I want all the millennials and the youngsters out there to know. That winning is that fulfilling moment. That moment of fulfillment.
Brilliant. I think you've set the stage perfectly for us for the next 30-40 minutes. Hope to gain a lot more insights. All right, so let's go behind the scenes, right? Like what is truly the foundation behind a winning mindset, right? It's got to be discipline. We've heard this so many times from so many successful people. It's the discipline before the success. It's the process before the pinnacle, right? The hundreds of hours that you practice to hit that winning six out of the stadium during power play that you can repeat consistently. Or the years of perfecting one single raga. Or the quiet chipping away at building something that lasts over years or even decades, right? And excellence is rarely built overnight. It takes a lot of patience, perseverance, preparation, all of that. So for me, what I truly want to understand is what are some of those winning habits that truly fuel this discipline and consistency that propels us forward. All right. So Vishakha ji, the question to you is, fortunately or unfortunately, none of us have an app that can practice for us. So it's probably a good thing. So in Carnatic music, the mastery that you build over years is what opens up the stage to you. So what does the journey of sadhana teach us about excellence that you can share with us?
Very, very nice question, Jayashree ji. And the phrase that you put, before you reach the pinnacle, practice, right? Practice before the pinnacle. That is very important. So, all of us know there is no shortcut route which everybody is as such expecting today. Some video to go viral, tomorrow you get up and your world known. Everybody wants that to happen today. Especially the Gen Z, Gen Alpha. I run a school, Vijayashree school, so I know about the Gen Zs and the Gen Alphas and all people out there. So, whatever you name, everybody wants padafat success. Instant, like instant coffee, instant food, sometimes even instant moksha. Everything instant. So there is no shortcut route And the only route is through sadhana. So probably you wanted a story or a song right at the beginning. I will use a story for this question. I will not talk about my sadhana because my sadhana is very, very, very a drop in the ocean. I will talk about my Guru Lalgudi Jayaraman sir. He had seen thousands of stages right from his very, very early years. 12th year, the Arangetram was done. Even before that, vocal Arangetram was done. And then from the violin, he was a violin prodigy. Always I say he is because I feel my gurus are always with me, protecting me all the time. Even if they are late, I don't say they're late, they're always with me. So Lalgudi Jayaraman sir, have you heard of him? Violin maestro? Yes, thankfully. Because nowadays, you remember people, celebrities only. Probably a celebrity last month will be a hero, last month will be a zero this month. So, but in Carnatic music or the traditional art forms, they become immortal. So, Lalgudi sir had seen thousands of stages. He had won several national awards, international awards, but he fell sick. Later point of time, his health failed. He had a very, very bad stroke where he could not even take his violin in his hand. Now, what would you expect? So, late in the 50s, say 55, 60. For me, I would say, okay, my career is done. I've won a lot of awards. Sit at home, relax, take rest. No. For a person who is passionate about violin, you know what he did? He began his sadhana right away from Sare Ga Ma Pa Da Ni. And most of his fingers, he could not use them. So other fingers with which you generally don't play the violin, you don't play the violin with a little finger. It's impossible. But he started using the other fingers with which he could produce the sound. Look at the mind over the body. Mind over the body is sadhana. Sadhana doesn't begin just or a 4th standard or 10 years or 20 years. Even in the 60th year, after having won awards and having seen several stages, 4 hours of practice, 5 hours of practice after strokes, after failure of health, using the fingers that cannot be used for violin. He could not even hold on to the violin. But then he started performing again. What is this? It looked like magic for all of us. Behind the magic is the willpower. Behind the magic is the practice. I could only have tears in my eyes when I saw him play. All the way like a LKG student practicing Sarigama Padani. Just imagine a maestro practicing right from scratch. We had tears in our eyes. But that is why he is a maestro. That is why he is a legend. You legends don't give up. It's not about winning right about and winning all the way. It's about losing, completely falling, and then getting up back. And when you get back, that is the resilience. That is sadhana. So, where is my sadhana before his sadhana? I don't want to talk about my sadhana.
All right, beautiful story. I think it tells a couple of messages, right? Like one is you can start at any age, any time, as long as you keep going back to the joy of why you do what you do, right? Like brilliant. All right, so we're going to switch from the arena of a stage to a different arena, which also requires intense focus and discipline, I'm sure. So Charvi, darling, I'm going to invite you into the conversation. In chess, every move matters. I'm sure during matches, you're sitting there for minutes thinking before what's my next move, right? And many of the leaders in the room, I'm sure when you're in meetings, you're trying to think maybe a couple of moves ahead, while Charvi is sitting there thinking maybe 10 moves ahead, right? So what goes on in your mind when you're in the middle of a match and trying to determine what are some of the factors that you consider before you make the next move?
So when I'm deciding on my next move, I first evaluate the position. I consider factors like king safety, pawn structure, and control of the key squares. Based on this evaluation, I try to identify few candidate moves. Then I start with the calculations. I visualize several moves ahead while even anticipating opponent's best responses. I always check for tactical possibilities. My intuition plays a big role. I trust my intuition by recalling the patterns I've done while training. Finally, before I make the move, I just do a quick blunder check just to make sure I haven't missed anything. My goal is to always choose the best move that improves my position while making opponent's plan even more difficult. I think this is the same in all the fields. We try to identify the problem and try to identify the solution pick the best solution. I think this teaches us the patience and logical thinking. About the next move, I think I remember one funny incident. I was in France and there was a round, and I thought the round is at 4 p.m. But the round was at 3 p.m. So I was getting ready at 3:40, and thankfully the walkout time was like 1 hour. So actually, my mother's friend called my mom and said the round is at 3 p.m. And like I just left my mom and just ran to the round, and like I just won the round. So I think that was one incident I remember. Yeah.
Awesome. I think she threw away so many lessons, pocketed in that story that she shared, right? Like she talked about pattern recognition, right? Like, can you take a step back in any situation that you may be in? Can you look at patterns over the years, whatever you have seen? Can you think about possibilities? She talked about possibilities. Like, what are my possible moves, right? And explore them, each one for its own merit. And then also think about, what is the opponent? Like when I do this, what can my opponent do, right? Like you're doing role playing. So I think there are a lot of brilliant lessons you shared right there, Chavi. Awesome. All right. So listening to you talk about, strategy and how you plan, your moves, it reminds me that leadership is often a long game, right? And it's more profound in the space that you're working in, Chitra, than anywhere else. You've been building that kind of change for many years. So when you really started your journey with maybe 20 students, where now you're impacting thousands of lives, and then being the leader for Special Olympics from India, can you share about what does it take, that discipline, that consistency over years for you to get from where you started to where you are now?
Thank you, Jayshree, and I think I should thank MMA for truly being inclusive and for letting me represent maybe 26 million people who are voiceless in this country, who have disabilities. So I think before I kind of start, I want to tell everyone the difference between Paralympics and Special Olympics, because there's always, when we think about disability, we only think about someone who is on a wheelchair or someone who is walking with crutches, which is what Paralympics is all about. But Special Olympics is this invisible disability, someone who looks like you and me, but is still got an ability in that disability. And I think our work is to bring that ability out. And the reason why I'm sitting here, this is 2003. I was a young mom wanting to spend my time usefully. I was volunteering. I was a student of social work from the Madras School of Social Work, so I wanted to spend my time usefully. Started volunteering with a psychiatrist, and I met this 13-year-old child with Down syndrome. She came to us with cut marks on her hands and legs. We realized she was going through some kind of abuse. I went and did a house visit, and to my horror, I found this girl tied up to a plastic chair with nylon ropes, locked up for 8 hours when the mother went out to work. Absolutely inhuman conditions. And, the first thought that crossed my mind was even dogs are kept in a better condition. And when I asked the mother why she did something like that, she said, "What do you expect me to do? My husband ran away the day he realized this was a special needs child. My own family would not accept me. My husband's family definitely did not take me in. Everybody said I was a sinner. It had something to do with my karma, my past sins. That is why God has punished me with a special needs child. To put 3 meals on the table, I need to go out to work. And this entire conversation, that girl was giving us such a smile with so much hope. And then when I said, if it was free food, India loves giving free food. Annadanam is something that we all like doing. And there was an Anganwadi next door. So I said, maybe that Anganwadi would have given you food. I don't understand why you're locking her up and tying her up. I think what she told me next is probably the reason why I'm talking to you today. She just looked straight into my eyes and said, you are a mom. When you go out to work and come back and you realize that your 13-year-old is expecting a child, what would you do? I was like shell-shocked. She said not once but twice somebody had sexually abused my daughter, both the times leading to a pregnancy, and this is my only option. That is when I realized that I wanted to start a center where the mothers could leave their children. More importantly, I think I wanted happy children, ability or disability. And that's how from 20 children to maybe 4,000 children today across Pondicherry until the tip of India, Karaikal inclusive. I like working in the villages because I think every child, irrespective of urban or rural, has the right for dignity, a right for inclusion, and right to be heard. And I think you can all imagine I'm that voice today of the voiceless.
You're truly blessed to do such meaningful work, and we are blessed that you chose to travel in this path, Chitra ji. All right. So we talked about the discipline before the success, but when the moment truly arrives, you really have to deal with that, right? Like the pressure, the self-doubt that can creep in. And these are the moments where expectations are super high, you feel the pressure, and you probably start questioning yourself, right? It's not a very great feeling. In leadership, you are handling incomplete information, decisions that need to be made very quickly, right? So what separates those from those who thrive is not the people who avoid the fear, but people who can deal with the fear and overcome it, right? So let's hear from our panelist about that aspect of a winning mindset. So Charvi, I have to ask you this, and I'm sure everyone in the room is going to be curious about this as well. You've sat across the board from grandmasters. You've met our president and the Prime Minister of India. Most adults in this room, I'm sure we will feel very nervous in those kind of situations. So where does a young girl find that kind of calm and composure? And how do you deal with situations like that? And is that something that you feel like you're born with, or is something that you've trained that maybe we can learn a thing or two?
I think it's a bit of...
I think it works. Just hold it close.
Yeah. So I think it's a bit of both. Some of it might come naturally, but a lot of it comes from practice and experience. Playing many games and handling different situations helps me to stay calm and focused on the position instead of taking pressure. Sometimes when we stay calm and focused, we can play the best move in the worst positions also. I believe that I either win or learn, but when I started chess initially, I used to feel very bad when I lose. But now, when I lose, I try to understand my mistake and learn from experienced players to gain knowledge. When I first bet a grandmaster, the game went for more than 6 hours, and I was fighting till the last moment, which secured me a victory. Yeah, I think feeling nervous is common for me, but trying to stay calm and focused helps me to perform better. That is the reason I do breathing exercise and meditation daily. So, yeah,
She does yoga too, by the way.
Yeah, meeting President and Prime Minister was a very special moment for me. It motivated me to work even more.
Wonderful, wonderful. She deserves a big round of applause. Now, the 6-hour match, imagine the kind of intense focus that is needed to stay sharp. And I'm sure the breathing and the yoga, all of that is really helping you stay centered. And I want to pick on one small thing that she said that probably is going to be an important lesson that we all have to carry, right? She said, I either win or learn. And how many of us think of it like that? I'm literally getting goosebumps as I say it, Charvi. Brilliant. All right, so Chitra, I want to pick your brain a little bit next. Social change can be emotionally demanding, and clearly from the story that you shared with us, it proves that. So when progress is slow and systems resist change, and we deal with it in our workplaces, I'm sure, anytime we're trying to bring a change, we face a lot of resistance. Any change we try to propagate, it can take its own time while we deal with a lot of pressures. So how do you navigate this, and how do you keep your team motivated, right? I'm sure when you deal with the repeated stories of despair, it must be really hard. It pulls you down, right? How do you still make change possible?
So I think working with people with disabilities, or especially children with disabilities, cannot be a job. You have to have a passion, right? Yes, of course, the graph is never high. When we led the team to Berlin for the Olympics, we were not the favorites. We qualified in a very thin margin for basketball. When you looked at who your opponent was, they walked like professionals, the Australians, when they came in. And you look this side, we are a country as diverse, right? So your team has 8 different children, adults, 8 different states, 8 different abilities. They've all probably come together, given the way our system works, maybe 1 month before the actual team leaves for various reasons. And then how are you going to win, right? Like Charu said, it is not about winning. It's actually about being there, holding your country's flag high, and then you're standing there and hoping that, okay, your best shooter who took you through yesterday's finishing line will perform well today. She's frozen. She's standing there not knowing what to do. A split second, she sees your eyes. And you have to, kind of tell her with action, shoot. And she does it. You may not win, but at that minute, you won, she won. And I think that is what this work is all about. Mothers who come to me, right, come contemplating suicide. I have no choice. I have no hope. Why do I live? Today, those mothers are walking village to village, talking to the other women, sharing her lived experience, and telling them there is hope, there is support, and there is a future. And if this is happening in a rural village in Pondicherry, it gives you all the more courage, right? So every day when we get in, we know it's a new day. Even if we have seen this child, she's going to be a new person today. And you start from there. That's very challenging. That's very addictive. Like Vishakha ji said, sometimes we would get a medical report which said, this child can only be a vegetable. And from there, maybe 4 months to just get them to sit, and another 4 months to utter that word. Sometimes it's not even amma, it's just ah. And a first step forward. Or someone who's communicating using an app today, trying to tell you she wants an idli, she wants idli in her blue plate, and she wants to wear this frock. Life-changing. And end of the day, what is so satisfying is the smile on their faces. You know she's not going to cry. And I think you know she's going to be heard. And that's what keeps us going. You know, I think when you, she'll also agree, when you hear the national anthem going, when your team is standing in the podium, I think there's nothing more. And if that national anthem is being played for a bunch of children whom nobody wanted, who are invisible, I think it is extremely encouraging. And then I think it pumps me up. It wants me to do more.
Yeah. I think what I'm taking away from what you shared, Chitra, is look for those small wins along the way. And I think that keeps building your winning mindset to go for the big wins, I think. All right. So, Vishakha ji, I'm going to come to you now. When you perform Harikatha, you're not just singing, right? You're holding the attention of an audience for hours through story, music, humor, spirituality, philosophy. And I only wish our meetings and presentations, we can copy your style so that we get to meet more of our targets and goals. But jokes apart, have there been moments on stage when things didn't go as planned? And how do you deal with such situations? And how do you take that learning back into the next time you're on stage? Because those moments are going to happen to us all the time. And have you dealt with that? What can we learn from it?
How are you able to switch from such a serious topic to a totally different? I'm not able to get out from what she said. My goodness, just very, very emotional, Chitra ji. So, give me a few minutes to come out of that serious issue. And when she said 26 million people in our country is facing such a great issue, the stage, the Harikatha, the singing, the mics, are they even important is what is running in my mind now. But coming back to your question, okay, Harikatha is also a beautiful art which gives a lot of mental healing. It's a healing therapy which our rishis have used as a beautiful tool through millennia. So Valmiki or Vyasa, they have been doing this mental counseling sessions, I think, on a large scale. Not one-to-one, but on a very large scale. Because everybody, though you pointed out the disabilities of this 26 million, I think all of us are disabled in some way or the other. All of us are disabled children only. We are all children because we act so immature most of the times. And we are disabled because we are not able to control our anger, or actually they have more happiness and smile than in our lives sometimes. So who is disabled and who is able is a very, very different question today, because today's youngsters, if you see, with all the privileges that they are more unproductive. And I think these children are more productive than the unproductive children who are engaged in drug abuse, and because of their mental instability, their lives are complete waste, lesser than a vegetable. So, coming back to your question from hers, how do I face the stage if things go bad? So that was your question, right? Okay, thank you. So yes, sometimes, not all times, everything is under our control. Sometimes the mic works, sometimes the mics. In fact, a year back, I think, the venue was packed with thousands of people. It was the second senior slot that I was to perform at 7:30. There was a previous slot of a Hindustani musician who was performing before. Program was to start at 7:30. It didn't start at 7:45, not at 8. Not at 8:15. Audience was getting restless. It was 8:30 p.m. Audience was like completely restless. Because the program had to start at 7:30 and the Hindustani musician is going on and on and on. Organizers say, no, it was a late start, so we cannot ask them to just abruptly stop because they have flown all the way from Mumbai and the entire team is staying at one 5-star hotel. So you can just go and say, no, please stop. We have to start the next concert. So it is from the organizer's point of view. And 8:30 I start the program. Boff. All the mics are switched off. Nothing is working. Tabla is not playing. Tabla is just playing. The mics are not working. So the violin mic is not working. Mridangam is bang, bang, bang. It's going on. And I said, what is this, Arjun? No. I have not even placed my fingers. It's just going on. The mic is playing like this. What do I do? I'm not playing a car. So I'm like, what to do now? Already the start is 8:30. Program was supposed to be from 7:30 to 9, max 9:15. It's already 8:30. Audience are restless. Mics are not working. Feedback monitors are not there. These are called feedback monitors. So I'm not hearing what I'm speaking. What do you do in a situation like this? So in those situations, you just surrender to God. That is where that spirituality, that rooting, tradition, culture, all that come into our help. That is the helpline, support line. So just surrender to God, your Ishta Devata, and surrender to the art form, surrender to your gurus. That moment you get that spark. So it was actually Maza Sakha Vithala. That was the topic. Maza Sakha Vithala, Vithala Panduranga. That was the topic. So I just started. Vithala Panduranga, Vithala Panduranga. Vithala, Vithala Panduranga, Vithala Panduranga, Vithala Panduranga, Vithala Panduranga, Vithala Panduranga, Vithala, Vithala Panduranga, Vithala, 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 Vithala. Vithala, 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 Vithala. Audience was really happy. They were all singing together, all the thousands. And during that Vithala Panduranga, Vithala Panduranga, I was telling the mic man, Vithala Panduranga, Vithala Panduranga, violinist, Vithala Panduranga, everything is not heard. Reduce the volume from the Vithala Panduranga, Vithala Panduranga, tabla is not heard. Vithala Panduranga, Vithala. So, it took almost 20 minutes. But the audience did not understand that I was asking the mic man to do all the adjustments. That way all the people were dancing and happily started clapping like what you did. They didn't understand what was going on stage. Happily they said, best part was the first 20 minutes of your concert. Arda Ramachandra. So that was what happens when some things go out of our control, and that becomes the best part of your concert.
Awesome. So I think the brilliant part is to stay grounded when you're facing, with an adverse situation where you don't freeze, but maybe use creativity, maybe use humor to get out of it sometimes. But I love the lesson you shared there, Vishakha ji. Now switching to a different arc, right? Like we talked about discipline. We talked about the courage that is needed when you have to overcome situations that truly throw you at the deep end, right? What is also important for winning is to have some strategies, to have influence, it's to use your communication and storytelling to the best of your abilities. So, because leadership is never about just working hard, it's about leveraging all of that to succeed. So Chitra, you operate at the intersection of gender, disability, and social inclusion, areas where progress truly take decades and it can be painfully slow, right? And the wins probably are often very invisible. And as a leader, how do you measure success where you don't have metrics to show? And what strategies do you use to stay focused and keep getting the kind of support that you truly need to make progress when it's hard to show progress itself?
See, what we are trying to change is something that is deeply cultural and systemic, right? Because you strongly believe that it is the mother's sin, it is the karma. So, kind of what happens, I'll tell you what one of the, maybe, so there was this mother who came and said, everybody in the village is asking me to abandon this child. இந்த குழந்தைய வச்சுட்டு நீ என்ன பண்ண போற, ரொம்ப கஷ்டமா இருக்கு. 10 years down the line, she comes with me to Berlin. We are standing at the 400 meters final. She's just looking at me and asking me, நான் என்ன பண்ணணும்? So I showed her the track and I said, all that you need to do is to run between this. She was not the favorite. There was an African girl who had broken a record, so she was the favorite. And the final she ran at her own pace, did not cross the line, won the gold because everyone else had crossed the tracks. Everybody was congratulating her. She came looking for me and she said, are you happy now? Right? And the same girl, when she finished and when we came back, the village has a temple festival. The village headman invites her as the chief guest. The same village that wanted the mother to abandon her. But this journey has seen a lot of ups and downs. Like a girl who was abused by her own father, for want of a better place to keep her, went back home. We were very surprised, like we as the so-called professionals want to protect her, don't want her to expose her to the abuser, whole lot of theories that we have. I just asked her, how do you manage? She said, as far as I'm concerned, my father is invisible. Right? Very profound, but they try to tell you that what we measure as success. Okay, we came back, the Prime Minister spoke about the Special Olympics team in the Man Ki Baat. But we realized every single child who had gone there, every single athlete, it was not one day. It was years of work. And not just her, the therapist, the doctors. How do you not have an epileptic seizure when you are on the... we had to think about, like, to get someone to board a flight. Imagine you're coming from a second tier, third tier city where we've never seen an escalator. We had to bring the athletes to a mall in Chennai, get them up and down the escalator just so that they are able to use. How do they sit with the other countries and use a fork? So our training is just not sports, but it's all these, finally disabled or not, they are showcasing your country. So you also have that. And I mean, I can go on talking about it. Every time a child buttons her shirt herself, when the mother is sitting there and watching, she's doing her work. I don't have to get involved in it. I mean, Diwali is every day. I think a new year is every day when the child puts a first step forward. When you're trying to break, judgments made by others, I think I cannot tell you how we feel. It's just amazing.
I think when you're in the long game, how can you break it down to smaller things that truly is fueled by purpose, I think is the way to go. So Vishakha ji, I'm going to switch to you. The power of storytelling. We all hear how paramount and how important it is for success, especially in, industries that, all our audience are a part of, right? And nobody does it better than you. So what is it that you do in terms of honing that skill of storytelling, and what can we learn from that and take it back to our work in terms of how we communicate with a lot of clarity and confidence?
There are a lot of things which are very relatable from our ancient wisdom. So, actually presenting the texts as they are, without giving our own substandard thoughts. I think because the authors are rishis, obviously, Valmiki and Vyasa and all of them. They're so far-sighted very insightful shlokas. So, just to give you an example, because you asked me how we can take what takeaways for the modern day. So, this is MMA, Madras Management Association, right? Would you believe if I say there are a lot of concepts that Rama spoke to Bharata about management? In Ayodhya Kanda, 100th Sarga, it's called Kachit Sarga. Kachit means questions. He keeps asking questions. And that Sarga has 100 questions on management concepts alone. Rama questioning Bharata on that management because Bharata is the next leader. He is preparing Bharata to become the next leader. So, as a leader, what should you do? It talks about staffing, employment, delegation, planning, targets, deadlines, awards, bonuses, salaries, how to maintain balance in life, sleep, food, health, everything. So, they are all so far-sighted that if we can just present the text authentically before, without any change. I just need to present that Sarga before MMA. There will be a minimum dozen leaders the next day because there will be so many takeaways. So that is the amount of depth and intensity that has already been done. The work has already been done. All I need to do as a Harikatha exponent is just present it before the audience. So that is the greatness of our Bharatiya wisdom, Bharatiya ancient Indian wisdom.
Awesome. Okay, I think, for me, having been an audience and a fan, the storytelling where you're able to help us visualize as you say things, it creates a very powerful impact. So I think that is one lesson I would say, our audience can truly, truly imbibe. Before we switch to the audience question, a very, very quick rapid fire round. Just one word answers, all right? So Charvi, which is your favorite chess piece?
Knight.
Knight,
Yeah.
all right. If you would like an undo button during a chess match, remember your opponent will get it too.
No, because I always want to concentrate on my next move.
All right, so... all right, so Chitra, if you had a magic wand and could change one thing in society tomorrow, what would it be?
I think when anybody says it's not possible, if it can sound as let's try.
Wonderful, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. If your life journey was a movie, what would the title be?
20 Children and a Dream.
Nice, nice. All right, so Vishakha, one composer you would love to meet. From not now?
Tyagaraja Swami always.
Nice, nice. All right, music.
Definitely Tyagaraja.
Music or storytelling, you can only choose one.
It's like asking me to choose between
I
left
know,
eye
I
and
know.
right eye.
You
Because
have,
both are intermingled for me. Every musical composition tells a story and every story is musical.
all right, okay. Okay, so with that, we will wrap our conversation and switch to our audience. I think there is a lot of questions that's come up. Do I read the question that's on screen? Is that how we go about it? Yeah? All right. So Chitra, I think the first question is for you. I'll read out the question so that everybody can hear it. What personal experience reinforced your belief that social change is possible through sustained effort?
You know, when I was a student of social work, I did my thesis on a subject called female infanticide, which was very prevalent in Uslampatti. What changed? You know, if you go to Uslampatti today, the first thing that meets your eye is a women's college, which never existed 30 years ago. And that change came about by one midwife who decided not to do what she was forced to do and decided her voice could be heard. I think as a young student, that created a huge impression, and that's when I thought that if women wanted to do, it's going to happen.
Brilliant. All right, Charvi, the next question is for you. What does preparation for an international chess competition typically look like for you?
I think my coach always says that you should not prepare for only one tournament. You should prepare for overall competitions. So every time I'll be doing an intense preparation on this.
Okay. All right. Is there another question, or do we switch to the room? Is there any question in the room? All right. Okay. A question for me. As a leader who has built and mentored large global teams, what qualities do you believe define a winning mindset that helps individuals succeed consistently over time? All right. So this is something that my mom shared with me when I was a 6-year-old. It has stayed with me till date. Whether you do small things or big things, do every small thing in a great way, right? So I've applied that in my life, whether it's the smallest of projects or the biggest of things that I deal with. The joy that I try to get out of is doing every small thing in a great way. So even if I don't end up doing great things in life, I know I'm going to be happy, and I think that's the winning mindset that has truly helped me. All right, Vishakha, your question. What made you switch from being a first-rank professional in taxation to a brilliant Harikatha storyteller? Was it wanting a change of scenery to explore, or did something happen which made you choose that path?
I think everybody's journey is divine will. Every person's journey is divine will. Though we think we plan it this way and we navigate it this way, I would like to quote Tyagaraja Swami. Jata kurchina taka sutramuno jagamella mechakaramuna nitima kelara vicharamu. All of us are like just dolls, that puppets, no? It's a puppetry show. So there are so many people who are doctors, who have become actors, who are engineers, who have become photographers. There are, say, profession or career. I would like to quote Lal Gudi sir. So when somebody asked Lal Gudi sir, why did you choose the violin? Lal Gudi sir answered, I did not choose the violin chose me. So I would say the same thing. I did not choose Harikatha, Harikatha chose me.
All right. Are there any more questions online or in the room? All right. Okay. So today we heard 3 remarkable journeys, from a music stage to a chessboard to a social movement, right? Yet the lessons were strikingly similar to the discipline that goes behind the preparation, the courage that you need to truly perform when the moment arrives, to the strategies and the influence and the communication that you can truly use to bring those winning moments more real, right? Charvi, you taught us to think ahead. Vishakha ji, you taught us to connect with the audience through stories. And Chitra ji, you taught us true success uplifts communities. Perhaps the real definition of winning is this: in the spirit of this International Women's Day's theme of give to gain, I think to go personally, lead purposefully, and leave the world better than we found it, we all need to give to gain. And thank you so much for the incredible opportunity to talk to all 3 of you. I absolutely enjoyed it. It's been a great honor. Thank you, Yamani.
Thank you, Ms. Jayashree. What a splendid session it has been. 3 women achievers and 1 girl would-to-be woman achiever. Let's give them a big round of applause. Fantastic diversity here on the stage as well. Right? May I now request Mr. T.G. Suresh, Guru of Ms. Vishakha Hari, along with Mr. Sundaram, who is a committee member, Ms. Ranjani Manian, please come on to the dais, please. And yeah. Group Mr. Kumar? Yeah. Please come. Mr. Ramesh Babu, please come and join. Ma'am, please come. I think Jayashree ma'am prepared so well with all her questions. Let's give it up to her. Fantastic round of questions. And Ms. Chitra, I think you left many of the audience here in tears today. And I think a lot of them knew today that there are 26 million children who are waiting for this kind of love and affection from all of us. That's a great job, great service. We'll wish you good luck to continue and do the great job that you are doing. Ms. Vishakha Hari, what to say about you? You turn every stage into a storytelling episode. Lovely stories we heard from her. Thanks a lot, Ms. Vishakha. Continue the great work that you are doing as well, promoting art and culture of Bharatiya. And Charvi, wishing you the best to be the grandmaster once again as an adult grandmaster, right? Lovely, good. What clarity in her thoughts, the way she answered the questions, it looked like she was a pro, right? So, great. Thank you so much. Well, we are getting into the special session 3. Good to see audience